But that's alright.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Yo guys, what is up? Moxsy related to the video, and today we're talking about our new Amara build. Now, this build feels like you're playing old Ricochet Witch Amara. I know that you guys really want Moze Builds, Fleck Builds. Those builds are coming, but I've been playing this build straight for the past few days on stream. I can't get enough of it, so I wanted to show it off. It is a non-DLC build, and it is very powerful. It clears everything extremely quickly, and I'm not typically a fan of using rocket launchers, but this just works so well that I wanted to showcase it with you guys. If you do enjoy the build and the video, be sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And with that, let's get right into it. Alright, so showing on screen right now is the skill tree. Now, before we talk about the skill tree, we got to answer the question of, it's a rocket launcher Amara build, how are you getting ammo? So the trick for sustaining ammo on this build is a trick I've used in many other builds. I haven't used it in a long time, but one of my favorite tricks on Amara. It has to do with the Big Boom Blaster. Now, the Big Boom Blaster has a chance to drop boosters that are going to restore your shield grenade and heavy ammo. Now, that is very, very nice to have, and we only get these boosters when we take damage from enemies and stuff. However, we can kind of work around that with the driver class mod. Now, when we self-dot with the driver, we proc Big Boom Blaster. Now, as we're dotted, we are going to be constantly procking these things, which give us our ammo. For example, if I shoot now, let's get it. So our ammo's down. I have 38 ammo, 39, 40. So you're always going to be dotting. This is like a Ricochet Witch build where we're really not using our action skill that much. We're basically keeping up the dot on ourselves, running around, and shooting. Now, because we're always going to be dotted, we are always going to be getting mindfulness, movement speed, and we are fully spec'd all the way into mindfulness, just like old Ricochet Witch was. Now, the recursion used to be our weapon for clearing. Now, I made an updated Ricochet Witch build, and I really liked that build, but it played a little bit more like Chaos Queen, and this plays more like old Ricochet Witch, where you kind of just fire and everything dies. So, what we're doing here is we're dotting ourselves, and the Plague Bearer covers such massive area, and when it hits enemies, it's just going to be one-shotting everything, that you can shoot this, run around, and everything will die, which is why I've been really, really enjoying this. Now, for our Big Boom Blaster, you just need a Big Boom Blaster, whatever, anoint. You're going to be looking for bonus red. For your driver, the main things that you want, splash damage is really, really cool. Now, I have a God Roll driver. This is the God Roll. Splash damage, heavy weapon damage, weapon charge speed. I was not using this in the clips because it's a God Roll, but I just wanted to showcase you guys what a God Roll would look like if you are looking for something. Weapon charge speed is really, really nice to have. If I could get two things, it would be splash damage and weapon charge speed. But do not sleep on weapon charge speed, because the Plague Bear takes a while to charge up and shoot, and getting that little bit of extra charge speed is going to help you spam out shots, which is really, really nice to have. Now, for anointments on your Plague Bearers, you're going to be looking for splash damage or consecutive hits. Either or is fine. Splash damage is going to be a little bit better, but because we're always dotted, we're always able to keep up the consecutive hits anoint, and you're always going to be maintaining the damage, but because we're Fate Grasping so much, 200 splash is also always going to be active, so if you can, get 200 splash. If you can't, I recommend consecutive hits or 100 ASC. Next up, with the skill tree. So, you'll note that our skill tree is kind of weird. So, we're going all the way down to Guardian Angel because we are spamming rocket shots out there and we are flying around at 300% movement speed. Mistakes happen. We go down. You might go down to your own damage. You have Guardian Angel. You don't got to worry about it. Once again, plays kind of like Ricochet Witch, where we're pretty much unkillable. The only thing that'll kill you on this is your own damage, which it does happen sometimes if you run into your own rocket launcher shots, because you could shoot it and beat the rocket launcher shot by a mile. Now, the main thing here is mindfulness, points into arms deal for splash damage and damage reduction, helping hands for a ton of more damage reduction. We're getting a ton of health and Guardian Angel. It just all works so well, and it helps because we're running around and we're only shooting periodically, that in between shots we're not going to die. Now, for our blue tree, I went with fast hands. We're going to be shooting rocket launchers, so we're going to kill things regardless of how much damage we have into Ties That Bind. It's really, really nice to have that extra reload speed and weapon swap speed if you want to swap between your rocket launchers. Just super nice. Now, we are maxed out on Alacrity because it's going to give us tons of reload speed, and our only real healing is from our rocket launchers, which when they touch anything will full heal you, but we want to be reloading as fast as we can, so we have so much reload speed here. Because we're using a driver, we're full into cooldown, and we went and got From Rest. Now, Laid Bare, 1 point into Laid Bare, 1 point into Wrath is fine. Having those things is nice, but From Rest is going to give you that extra charge speed, which just works so well with Plague Bears. Now, for our red tree, we're down into Anima, Tempest, points of Wildfire. So, like, just to explain some things, we don't need Transcend. Accuracy and critical hit damage, we're shooting a rocket launcher that's just going to do AoE damage. We don't need this. And we don't need accuracy from Steady Hands. Infusion hurts splash damage. Typically, Infusion, kind of fine to put 1 point into. Infusion will hurt your splash damage if you are using a splash damage AoE, or Anoint, so do not put any points into Infusion. Tempest, Wildfire for more dot spreading. We've got Dread, so one cool way to do this, what Dread really works well with, is Ties That Bind, is if you fire, you've got 8 shots. If you fire your shots from your thing, and we've got 10. If instead of reloading on your last shot, you can shoot it, it's so slow, you Ties That Bind the enemies out there, the enemies will die, and your gun will get instantly reloaded, and then you can keep running around spamming shots. By the time you're about to get down to your last shot again, you can then grasp something and then get Dread again. So it's really, really nice because we're a driver build. We don't have Phase Grass up to never have to reload. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the spec points into reload speed. And because we're self-dotting a lot, that's a nice trick, but it doesn't work always. So we are going Dread, and we are going reload speed, debuff for that magazine size. Indiscriminate with these rockets are crazy. If you can get indiscriminate to proc. We also use backburners. Backburners are great as well, but the main thing is Plague Bears because they work for mobbing and bossing. And we're grabbing Sustainment. 1 point into Sustainment is going to give us the lifesteal and all the healing that we need. Now, really cool thing that we can run here is not the face. We're using rocket launchers. Rocket launchers, they're just gonna murder everything. You can use Not the Face instead of Roguelite, so even when you do go down, you have a rocket launcher to get you back up, but the critical hit damage is not felt at all because the rocket launchers don't really crit. Their damage isn't based on crit, and Ties That Bind, which we're using a decent amount, doesn't crit things, so I rock minus 75% crit, and I run that with Speed Demon. When we have full stacks of Speed Demon and we have full Mindfulness, that is 300% movement speed. Now, on top of that 300% movement speed is going to give us 600% gun damage. On top of that, we're using an Elemental Projector Victorish to give us even more movement speed. But this is going to give us The main thing is the elemental damage boost. Now, I've made a few videos about the Pearl versus the elemental projector. If, for example, you only have a Rad Plague Bearer, use a Pearl of Ineffable Knowledge, because the elemental projector only benefits if we dot ourselves with the element that we're using. So, for example, like if I was mainly using this Shock Plague Bearer, which I mainly use, I would be running Shock ASC so that I'm shock dotted. Now that I'm shock dotted with the driver class mod, I'm going to be getting a 108% shock damage boost with the Plague Bearer, which is more damage than you would get with the Pearl. However, there is no rad action skill, so if you are using something like a Rad Plague Bearer, switch it to the Pearl. Now, you're going to want to switch it. You're going to be doing so much damage that it doesn't really matter, but for example, I will run through the entire takedown with Shock, and then when I get to Wotan, I'll switch to Corrosive, because I have so much damage. I'll just melt through the shields anyways, and we're going to need more corrosive damage boosts, and getting 108% increased corrosive damage is just so strong. This build is a lot of fun to play. Lastly, I mean, I have a green grenade on. You don't really need a grenade. You are going to be regenning your grenades. So with the Big Boom Blaster, you can spam grenades. I just don't find grenades that useful with Amara. She genuinely doesn't benefit from them that much, but if you want to spam grenades as well, you can, and shoot and throw, kind of like you would on Moze. It's just know that your grenades mainly could be used for healing. If you want to use like an It's Piss, you can, but not too great. Guys, that is it for the build. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something new. It kicks ass. This build is so much fun, and it just destroys everything. If you have any ammo problems, you got the Big Boom Blaster. You can just phase grasp, get yourself some. We just got 3 more rocket launcher shots there, 4 more rocket launcher shots. It works very well, and worst comes to worst, you run out of ammo. If that happens, you can use a Cut Purse Launchpad or a Cut Purse Relic. Cut Purse Launchpad. When you slam, you're gonna get all your ammo back. Super easy. You will get max ammo by doing that with enemies nearby, so it just works well. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Take care. Peace!